Hello everyone and welcome back to the Monday Night Indy Open Top Split here on iRacing. Mark Murphy, your host, Kyle Clinworth in the booth. And boy, have we got a treat for you again tonight, race fans. We're live from Sebring for the 10th round of the Indy Open Series. And Clindy, this is a track that this is a track where Mark gets his tongue tied. This is a track we most often associate with sports cars, but we're racing open wheelers here tonight, and this place does have quite an open wheel history, does it not?
I assume it does, because you said it does. I don't know anything about Sebring besides the fact that I'm real slow here.
It does have a huge history at Sebring. The original United States Grand Prix was held here at Sebring. Interestingly enough, INDYCAR star Roger Ward scored points in that race. But the United States Grand Prix, when Formula One originally formed in its modern incarnation, that was held here at Sebring in 1950. Normally known now as the home of the 12 Hours of Sebring, it also hosts other events. There has been a 1,000-kilometer race here for World Sports Cars. It does have a Trans Am race. The SVRA, the Sports Car Vintage Racing Association, comes here, as does the Michelin Pilot Challenge and other series, the GT World Challenge, GT4s, the Champ Car Endurance Series, and the Historic Sports Cars all race here at Sebring. This is also a huge site for IndyCar testing. They do not use the full course here at Sebring. Instead, what they do is they use the short course or the international course to test, because this place is Clindy bumpy, and that's the word. So they come here and test and use it for street courses. It stands in on iRacing for the track at St. Petersburg. St. Pete, not in the sim, so we come to Sebring instead. But I'm looking forward to a fun night, my friend.
Absolutely. Hopefully everyone in the audience is ready to get a big dose of vitamin C and vitamin D from all the sunshine and oranges we'll have at Florida this week, from tonight at Sebring, tomorrow at Homestead, and then the IIS later this week, also here at Sebring.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun week and a decently long week here at Sebring. Some of these drivers will be tired of this track. We're watching Phil Kraus as he puts his qualifying laps in here at Sebring. We've got about 4 minutes and 20 seconds yet to go. I did not make up the graphic, Clindy, but I did want to tell the fans at home about the points. So Adam Blocker leads those on 16:45. He is in the barn, as is the general Kevin Burrell, hot on his heels with 15:99 in second. Nathan Moore, how about that? He is third, 13:85. Matt Taylor and Alan Berteau round out the top five. Matt Hollybaugh, Logan Edwards, Olivia Hayward. Oh, hey, such a great showing for her in eighth. Sam Carosella ninth, and Lilac Zier is 10th. Now, the only person in that top 10 who does not score points in the maximum 8 weeks, well, that would be Sam Carosella. He's got one free week yet to go, and he is in the field here at Sebring tonight. So looking forward to see what Sam can do, to see if he can't vault himself more forward.
Fiercely?
Yes, he will vault himself fiercely forward right now. You see him slotted into six. You get 2 laps over, 10 minutes here, Clindy? 8 minutes, 10 minutes? Something like that. So
8 minutes of qualifying with 3 minutes of playtime beforehand. It takes about a minute and 40 seconds to do a lap. The pole right now is at 1:38.9, just under the 1 minute and 39 second bracket. Munoz on the provisional pole.
Yes, he is, 1:38.987. Kevin Burrell, the general, actually has the exact same lap time, Clindy. You want to talk about close. Jade Munoz and Kevin Burrell, exactly the same time right now. Adam Blocker is third. Hamilton Akawazy fourth. Alex Van de Zandt rounds out the top five. Then you go to Will Lyon, Alan Berteau, Sam Carosella, Nick Sudik, and Matt Taylor for the top 10. Phil has not yet set a time. I'm guessing his first lap was scrubbed due to an X, and so we're looking for the Resident Series Pro to come through here.
Going way wide in Le Mans down the Ullman Straight, getting ready for the Sunset Bend to finish up the course. We'll see if he's on a screamer this time or setting it up for the next lap.
I think he's out of laps. This would be his second. So Phil is on whatever is going to be his last lap. That shot right there gives you an idea how bumpy that is. Uses up all of the road, comes across the line. Phil Kraus, 38.806. Phil Kraus goes to the pole position.
This lap did not register for me, Murph.
No, it didn't, and that means that Phil Kraus ran it a bit wide, and so we'll get to see Phil come from the back here. A 38.806 for Phil, but he does not. His time does not register, and that's something you have to be very careful of on these road courses. Sometimes the optimum line is outside of the track limits, and if you get one of those 1Xs, your lap is disallowed. On an oval, if you touch the wall and get a 0X, your lap is disallowed. And so, you got to be really, really doggone careful of that. It's going to be interesting to see tonight, too, Clindy, the tire choices. So some of the setups that you come to Sebring with, they are good on, they're better on blacks. Some of them are better on reds. We do want to pull up the weather for our fans at home because it is a scorcher, 85 degrees, 121 on the track. Talk about sunny South Florida, Clindy. It's a hot one in virtual Sebring, so the drivers are going to have to deal with that. I would suspect they're mostly going to want to be on the black tires, wouldn't you think?
I really think that the setup trickery here can play hugely into which tire is preferred, and parts of the track that are asphalt are going to probably chew up the tires worse than that are concrete. I think the concrete portions of the track are going to be a little more polished towards the end on Sunset and the front stretch, and the rest of the track is asphalt, correct?
Well, it is, but don't forget about how much the bumps play into that too. Your car starts bouncing around, going up and down, leaving the surface and coming back while you got the wheel turned. Not only can that turn you loose, but it can really, really chew up the tires, get a lot of heat in them. And so drivers are going to be very careful of that. But I tell you what, they're about ready to not be careful because we're going to have a start here, Clindy. The virtual fans, the line in the side. This is always a race I wanted to go to. And we'll maybe someday we'll get there.
We'll do a P1 pilgrimage down for testing next year, perhaps.
Maybe
watch
so.
IndyCars rip around if they let us in. We'll get our press credentials and everything.
On the pole, Jaden Munoz, 138.987 with the identical time, but set later. Kevin Burrell, the general, he'll start on the outside pole. Adam Blocker and Hamilton Akaboise make up round 2. Nathan Moore and Brandon Roseborough, they're going to be in row 3. Alexander Van de Zandt, Will Lyon make up row 4. Starting 9th, Alan Berteau, and 10th, that'll be Sam Carosella in the Fiercely Ford machine. In 11th, Hayato Matsuda. 12th, Nick Sudip. 13th, Matt Taylor. Leon Flugaker, he's going to go 14th. Logan Edwards, 15th. David Hinger, 16th. Connor Priest, 17th. Oh, hey, Olivia Hayward in 18th. And shotgun on the field with no time is going to be Phil Kraus. And that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, we have drivers already sounding off in the chat saying, hey, Phil, I won't let you out, or I won't hold you up on the first lap. And then the next driver in the next line said, I won't hold you up on the next lap. So I think everyone in the field is sounding off, hey, Phil, when you get to me, just go on by, buddy.
Yeah, everybody kind of knows, and we know this on ovals too. Everybody kind of knows who the fast guy is. You got a fast guy starting behind you. It's not that you don't want to hold him up for sporting reasons, although that can play into it too. You don't want to hold him up for safety reasons for your own self. You can get if you start getting argy-bargy with one of those guys that's a lot faster than you, you can wind up off the road, and nobody wants to do that. So that was always my reason anyway for letting the faster cars go. I wanted to keep it on the racetrack.
Well, yeah, and plus, the rear tires, especially on road courses, are so sensitive. You may be able to repair a rear wing very quickly in the pits, but your rear tires, if you get suspension damage or you knock the toe out or the camber out on the rear tires, you will no longer be able to put a lap time in the same time zone as what you had been practicing. You will be so far off the pace and a hazard, frankly, on the track. More so than if you break a wing.
Yeah, it's very easy to get the tires heated up here watching this field pull away. Always a beautiful sight seeing Indy cars on a track really anywhere, but especially here, a track so steeped in really American racing history. Like I said, the original home of the United States Grand Prix. Of course, it moved from Sebring for a long time. Indianapolis was a world championship round. And so it's good to see. It's good to see even just virtual cars on this track. It's really cool. It would probably need. My guess is it'd probably need a resurface if we were to come here in real life, Clindy.
Maybe they could just diamond grade it or patch it up, kind of like they did at Circuit of the Americas for MotoGP. Just because you can fix a bumpy racetrack without an entire resurface, but it is expensive. So it's kind of up to the owners of Sebring if they want to have the big names come. It's owned by NASCAR/IMSA, right? So I know that IMSA does a lot of racing here. I'm not sure who owns the facility, but
according to Wikipedia, you would be correct. NASCAR owns it via IMSA Holdings, which that wouldn't probably lend itself to IndyCars coming here for a race. NASCAR tends to, I don't want to say not let IndyCars race at their facilities, but they tend to raise the price out of sight. Not only that, but I think
go ahead.
Not only that, but I think the bumpiness of the circuit actually is one of the things that gives it so much character. And so to resurface it or to diamond grind it or whatever have you, it would take away a lot of the character that the sports car guys tend to find makes great racing here. Off through the hairpin, up toward 8 and 9, which is called Fangio. It is a long pace lap here, Clindy.
All American circuits get the long pace lap. We're making it hard for you to save fuel today. Speaking of which, you're going to go about 15 laps. If you want to save, you can go 16. We have 2 drivers starting on the red alternate compound. It looks like Brandon Roseborough and David Hanger are both starting on the reds today. They're going to have that full tank with the reds, so maybe they'll only go 9 laps, and then they'll try to save the 16 on the primary black sidewall tires at the end, whereas the rest of the field is going to be starting on the on the primary black wall tire, and they can choose to go 15 or 16 if they save, and then 9 or 10 on the alternates at the end.
Yeah, and that's going to be, that's what I think these guys are going to try to do anyway. The guys on the blacks are going to try to stretch them as long as they can, and the guys on the primaries, long as you can go. The drivers who have selected the red alternate sidewall tires, they're going to try to get them done and get off of them as quickly as they can. But I tell you what, we're headed through Sunset Bend for the final parade lap, and we are getting ready to rock and roll here, Clindy. 25 laps at the Sebring International Raceway. The pace car is going to duck on off. The pace car is going to duck on off. Jaden Munoz leads Kevin Burrell toward the flag.
Green flag, green flag.
And the race is on.
Walker draws even with Burrell into turn 1. Throws it in. Left side's by the concrete. No drama through turn 1 as the field files down.
Well, we got one around in the back. That's Logan Edwards.
Back.
That's Logan Edwards, spun it through turn 1. We stay at the front. That's Hamilton Akabuezi and the 7 of Brandon Roseborough. They get a little argy-bargy going through turns 3, 4, and 5. Headed through Big Bend and down toward the hairpin, Clindy.
Very, very technical part of the circuit here. You've got a hard braking zone. It's all flat, and then it'll be flat out, directly out. Getting a good exit through this hairpin sets you up for a passing opportunity in the next braking zone. Van de Sant doing that right now.
Yeah, Van de Sant to the outside of Sam Carosella, to the inside now of Will Lyon. Lyon going to have the preferred line, though, as they head toward turn number 10. They're going to come around Collier, which is this kind of slower left-hander, and then toward 13, which is Tower. Head up toward turn 14, which is kind of a mild chicane. It's called Bishop, and then they'll set up for Le Mans on the Ullman Straight. Critical to get through this corner here cleanly, because this is going to set up what is the absolute best passing opportunity. You see him swing wide through Le Mans and then onto the Ullman Straight, and this is where you're going to see all the push-to-pass used, Clindy, right here.
Here and then on the opposite side of the Sunset Bend, going into turn 1 are both great push-to-pass areas.
Yes, they are.
Matsuda throws it in on Phil Kraus. He thinks better of it. Kraus already working his way up through the field. Looks like he's in 10th spot.
Yeah, he sliced through exactly half the field in one lap here at Sebring. He did spot, though, by starting last, he did spot 5 seconds to the leaders, and that's going to be awfully tough to make up on guys like Jaden Munoz, Adam Blocker, and Kevin Burrell. We're going to follow Phil Kraus, though, because he's reached the back of Sam Carosella, the former Indy Pro 2000 ace, who follows Will Lyon and Alex Van de Zandt, and we'll see how long it takes Phil to get by Sam, who, knowing that Kevin Burrell is up there, he made it he made it a little bit easier than I thought. Burrell dives down to the inside. He'll have the position on Carosella, drops a wheel off. Here comes Carosella right back by, but Sam loses a wing.
He's been forgiven. iRacing said, hey, you didn't actually touch him. You can have that back on the house.
So there are no free spare parts lying around Sebring currently. Sam Carosella gets the front wing back, hot on the heels of Phil Kraus. Will Lyon runs right in front of them, but that did let, Matsuda runs right behind them. Very difficult to tell the Scott Dixon livery on Matsuda from the Indy Alliance IR livery on Will Lyon. Both kind of the same colors.
Similar schemes for similar drivers. They're both bad fast.
They're a lot faster than us. We're going to go back to Kevin Burrell because he is on the button trying to chase down Adam Blocker, and he's got a rear view mirror full of that man right there. That's going to be the geodesic car of Brandon Roseborough.
God, Roseborough, remember, was on the alternate tires, and remember the last time Burrell tried to pass Blocker at Watkins Glen, there was a little bit of drama involved. So let's see if these two continue to race each other the same way, or if they've changed their tactics.
A little bit of drama, you say, Clindy. I was out of the country for that one. We were watching it on the big screen on the Celebrity Apex, and I can tell you the crowd was very, very, very impressed with the action. 52-30 on the strength of field today. Do want to welcome everybody. If you're in the chat, if you're watching, feel free to shoot us a chat. We'll definitely answer your questions as best we can. Watching Kevin Burrell being chased by Brandon Roseborough, who is desperate to get past the general on those red alternate tires. If you have not already done so, and YouTube analytics tell me that about half of you have not, go ahead and smash that like button on the video and hit subscribe to the channel. If you can do only those two things, those would immensely help us out in our drive to 1,000. You can also send us super chats if you feel like leaving Clindy and I a tip, and there is a GoFundMe link if you would like to support the channel in a more direct way, listed in the description. Working lap number 3. The top two have more or less scooted away a little bit. Jaden Munoz out to a second lead over Adam Blocker. He's got a half a second in hand over this battle. This is the hottest one on the racetrack. It's going to be the general Kevin Burrell being chased by the alternate tire shod machine of Brandon Roseborough for third.
This is where if you are trying to save, Roseborough doesn't look like he is, but you could just tuck up right behind the driver in front of you on these straightaways and go easy on the throttle. We'll see if Roseborough sticks his nose out low here coming into turn 1. Not enough of a run.
No,
They'll regroup. Oh, go ahead.
If you kind of notice, Clindy, Kevin Burrell is just barely kind of squeezing that push to pass. He's using it wisely on the exits of He's using it wisely on the exits from on the exits of 16. That would be Lamar. 17, the Sunset Bend. He's using it to get onto Big Bend and down toward the hairpin. He's just given himself enough space so that Roseborough can't build that run, even though he's quicker off the corner. Kevin's able to just ease out there barely enough using that push to pass. He's down to 168 seconds though, so we'll see if that plays anything. We'll go ahead and put the push to pass numbers up there, and you can see the general down to 168. He is using liberally here to stay ahead of Brandon Roseborough.
My math is correct. I think he's using it right on target. We're about to come to lap 5. Finishing lap 5 is 1/5 of this race completed. You should have 1/5 of your push to pass gone, and with 20 or 200 seconds, every section of 10 seconds is 1 or 5%, right? So use basically 5% of your push to pass every lap, and you're going to be right on the money.
Great pictures here coming from Phil Kraus, and we're going to kind of use this to show our fans. We'll go inside the cockpit with Phil. We'll kind of use this to show the fans exactly what it looks like a lap around Sebring. Coming through Sunset Bend, down the main straightaway. There's the start-finish line. You see Barney in the flag stand. You're going to hook a left through turn 1, and this is fast. 4th, 5th gear, something like that. You want to get right down next to the concrete wall, which Phil does. 5th gear over the bumps out toward the grass, and then set you up for a very technical 2, 3, 4, and 5 complex. All the way through 2nd gear. A good exit here is crucial because really big bend is flat out, but you want to get a good run down toward the hairpin, which is turn 7. Hard on the brakes for the right-hander here. Through this
you want to avoid having your left rear wheel fall off the track there as the dirt comes out and grabs you.
Absolutely. Through 8 and 9, up toward turn 10. This is the one that I have the most trouble with here, Clindy. Very, very hard to get it settled down and turned there. Through 11, which is Collier, the gentle left-hander. Flick it right through 12, and another hard braking zone, and that one's tough at 13 at Tower because it's off camber. So you're braking, fading away from the grain of the track. Through Bishop.
You can't use the curb.
No, you cannot. This is turn 15, and then you'll swing all the way wide out here to go through Lamar. 2nd gear, stand on it through the Ullman Straight, towards Sunset Bend. That's turn 17. And once he gets through there, you will have completed a lap with Phil Kraus, who is now 7th. He has passed Will Lyon. And he's looking to chase down Nathan Moore and Hamilton Akabuezi. And you can see Akabuezi and Moore just right up ahead here, flash under the start-finish line.
Kraus has their draft, so it'll be easier for him to reel them in as the laps tick away because there's less wind resistance on his car down these long, fast straightaways before Big Bend and after Le Mans.
Yeah, he does. That lap time, by the way, that you just wrote on board, that was 1:41.7. Nathan Moore, who you're looking off the gearbox of right now, 1:42.5. Hamilton Akabuezi the same. And so Phil Kraus, 0.8 of a second quicker that lap. He is most assuredly coming. That battle between Akabuezi and Moore, though, it rages on. They are right together and have been so the entire way. Sam Carousel is another one that we've been following. He, Alex Van de Zandt, and the car of Hayato Matsuda, they are right together, the three of them, and they're not that far away from Will Lyon, who currently resides in 8th position.
Yeah, Carasella's been putting his front wing underneath Van de Zandt's rear wing, just like Roseborough's been doing to Burrell. So both the fiercely forward cars fiercely defending their positions right now.
I would say Sam's more like fiercely on the attack. You see him, he made it up to 9th on the initial start, dropped back to 10th, and he has been an attachment to Alex Van de Zandt's gearbox for this entire time. Meanwhile, don't want to miss anything here. Brandon Roseborough has finally gone to the whip. You saw the Christmas tree light up. Roseborough hits the push to pass, and we'll see if he's able to get by the general Kevin Burrell. He wants to do so in the worst way possible because the more he runs on those alternate red sidewall tires, the less likely it is that he's going to be able to come back later on, because later on Kevin Burrell is going to have the faster tires. Burrell, we think, is going to be running long here. I would anticipate Roseborough is going to stop within the next 3 or 4 laps, Clindy.
You'll have to at least get to lap 10, I believe, to make it to the end on fuel. So Roseborough's got to do at least 3 more. So I think he'll kind of listen to his feet and see when it's time for new shoes. And then he'll give up the fight here for 3rd place. Not only will Burrell have those red alternate tires once Roseborough decides to pit, but the rest of the field will too. So Roseborough is going to be in a position where he's going to be playing defense not just against Burrell and others if he happens to get by, but the entire field.
Yeah, I mean, he needs a gap in the worst way. Now, he does have 3.2 seconds in hand over Nathan Moore, who is 5th, and we'll go back and check that battle out, because Moore, Akabuezi, and now joined by Phil Kraus are right together here, and this is a battle worth watching too. Phil Kraus has sliced through the field. He started, remember fans, shotgunning here. We're looking at Hamilton Akabuezi is actually where the camera is. Phil started 19th. He's made it up to 7th in 7 laps. Right.
He's going to be 5th here. it just in a couple of corners.
Yeah, I mean he is most assuredly going quickly. We'll get right back on board with Phil, and let's bring the telemetry up and kind of see 150, 160 miles an hour. Touch it before you get to the 345 complex here.
I think Phil's going to send it on Hamilton out of this complex onto Big Bend. Hamilton had a good exit.
Yeah, but Phil's on push to pass. He's going to have the preferred line going in the hairpin, and I think that's going to be all she wrote for Hamilton Akabuezi. So move Phil Kraus into the 6th spot, and he'll draw a bead on Nathan Moore in the Williams Esports machine, looking for 5th.
Phil dropped his left rear tire off that track right where, out of the hairpin, where I warned you on his previous onboard lap. What a save there. He was almost 45 degrees skewed out.
Yeah, I mean he is driving that he's driving that Dallara for all that virtual Dallara for all it's worth. Of course, Phil Kraus does have the cred. He finished 2nd in the Pro Series. He's got the world championship license, the pro license. The only black belt in the field. Jaden Munoz also has the butt kicker emblem. He was in the Pro Series, did not retain the license, but Phil still has his, and he's putting it to good effect. Looking at the back of the Williams Esports machine of Nathan Moore, and then Brandon Roseborough is 3 seconds up the road. What a feather in his hat it would be if Phil can dispose of Moore here. Just look at the bumps. If he can dispose of Moore here and get back, and get a chance to start whittling away at Brandon Roseborough. Podium not off the table here
Reds
for Phil.
are about to throw in the white flag. They're falling off lap after lap here. He's lost about a second over his best lap time of the day.
Yeah, 142.2 that time by. For reference, Phil Kraus 141.9. Roseborough running about the same speed now as Nathan Moore and Hamilton Akabuezi. Jaden Munoz, who is your leader, and let's not lose sight of Jaden, he's pulled out to a 3-second lead over Adam Blocker. No easy feat, I might add, but he's pulled out to a 3-second lead over Adam Blocker, and he has driven away. He's still running 41.5s. Blocker 41.8, Kevin Burrell 41.9. Phil Kraus is the only one that's still in that minute 41 second bracket. Everybody else up around a minute 42 and a half here.
And the best I can do is a 144, so that tells you where I would be. Dead last. Way dead last. I'd be dead last in bottom split, so.
Oh, don't sell yourself short, Clindy. Go back, we'll look at...
No, I have to sell myself as tall because I am short. So.
Touche. There's Adam Blocker. He runs 2nd. We'll get a good look at him and the general Kevin Burrell following behind him. There you see Brandon Roseborough on those alternate red sidewall tires. Phil Kraus has moved around Nathan Moore, and he now leads that 3-car train. That's Kraus, Moore, and Akabuezi. And we've got to go back. There's another decent battle brewing. You've got Will Lyon. He is 8th. You see the purple machine. That's the drifting power slide entry. Truly caught in a power slide for Alex Van de Zandt. Sam Carosella is behind him, and then Hayato Matsuda. And these 3 cars have been more or less welded together for most of the event.
That's the human INDYCAR-apede.
Touche, Clindy, touche. Go back. Don't want to sell Phil Kraus short because he is moving away from Nathan Moore. He is pulling up on Brandon Roseborough 0.7 of a second quicker that time. And I would imagine Roseborough's got to be looking at the relative, thinking, I got to get to pit road soon. The window for pit stops is open.
It could be that he's sold out to go faster on the red sidewall tires, the alternates, and that's why he started on them with his setup. That's probably problematic. I would assume that if he wants to pit and put on the primaries, he's going to do so this lap. So not necessarily that he needs to, but if he really is prioritizing the red alternates, if he stays out one more lap, that'll tell us everything we need to know.
Most certainly will, and he's coming up on the point where he's going to make that dive if he's going to make it through Le Mans, down the Ullman Straight, and we're going to see if Brandon Roseborough brings it to pit road. Do want to give a shout out to Tony Estrada in the chat. Said that was fast. Kraus up to 6th. Well, we're a little bit too late. He's already fifth and closing down rapidly on fourth. We'll see if Roseboro makes the dive. The pit lane entry is to the right as you cross through Sunset Bend. He does not take the dive. Brandon Roseboro going to go for one more.
Yeah, so Roseboro feels that his reds aren't yet totally done.
No, and he ran a pretty decent lap that time. He was 142.6. So, yeah, he's 0.8 of a second off of Phil. However, maybe he feels that his pace on the primary black sidewall tires is a little bit less than what used reds would be. And so, you know, if he feels that way and he's got the data to back it up, why not stay out, Clindy?
Well, all the data I need to see is that Phil Kraus just ran his fastest lap of the day this deep into a run. The tanks are getting lighter, and those primary tires on his setup are not built to wear out. I would assume that Kraus is going to go as long as possible before he bolts on the reds, so that way he can have the lightest tank possible to abuse them and go as fast as possible at the end of this race.
100%. Where's the Jaws music when I need it, Clindy? Because Phil Kraus is playing it. It's either that, Clindy, or maybe he's hearing "Here, kitty, 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 kitty" in the cockpit.
Nah, dude, he's blasting Fatty Wap out of his JBL speaker right now.
Whatever he's listening to, he sure is fast. He's going through Le Mans, down on the Ullman Straight. You see Roseboro get very, very free coming through that hard right-hander. He's using those tires up for everything they're worth, but I don't know that it's going to be enough. Kraus is going to be there within the next lap.
I think Roseboro is pitting right now.
We're going to see it. Brandon Roseboro is going to make the hard right-hand corner. It is very difficult to get onto pit lane here just because you're already turning the car so much right there, and then you got to slow it down even more to make the pit lane entry. Roseboro is going to make the slow 45-mile-an-hour journey down the pit lane toward his pit box. No crew graphics here on a road circuit. Will stay with the stop. David Hinger also coming in. He likewise started on the red sidewall, or he likewise started on the red alternate sidewall tires. Away goes Roseboro. Logan Edwards is going to screen past, and you would have hoped. I think he would have hoped that at least he might have come out in clean air. But now he's got the car of Logan Edwards right there in front of him, and he's got cold blacks too.
I don't think Logan will hold up Brandon for very long. I think Logan understands what the score is. So I would assume as soon as Brandon gets within striking distance, Logan should roll over. The opposite, however, is true for Blocker and Burrell at the front of the field. Burrell's been a little faster the last few laps and has really reeled him in. It's down to under a second for P2.
Yeah, we had just switched to watching the general Kevin Burrell. We're going to go to the back and we'll watch off the rear. Excuse me, the hiccups are never a fun thing to have when you're doing a broadcast. We're going to watch off the rear of Adam Blocker. Kevin Burrell that last time through was 0.3 of a second quicker than the Dark Knight, and we're going to see if he can close that up some more. This time through, here's Blocker. He's going to flash under the start-finish line, 141.950. Kevin Burrell, 141.880. So Burrell chipping away here. This could get interesting.
We may not be in Louisiana, but it'll be like Cajun food.
And there you see the last four laps. Adam Blocker has slowly lost time to leader Jaden Munoz. Munoz now 5.5 seconds ahead, but he has definitely also lost time to Kevin Burrell. The general is there.
I think it is really interesting how they approach the hairpin differently. Burrell keeps it right on the curbs through the apex of the corner and then flicks the wheel and gasses up just to get through that extra little kink at the end after the hairpin, whereas Blocker kind of exits wide.
You know, he does, and that's a great pickup, Clindy, and we'll stay with him. They're gonna make that same turn here in just a few moments, and we're gonna get the P1 airship out, and we'll show you the different line through the hairpin here. They both should be in the camera shot coming down the front straight. toward
Well, it's exactly those types of differences in lines that allow you to pass on road courses like this. When you can go somewhere where no one else is, it allows you to stick your nose where it shouldn't be, more or less, and compromise the driver's line in front of you.
most certainly does. Clindy. Jaden Munoz just sets the fastest lap of the race. I am going to turn off the scoring pylon so that we can see exactly what Clindy was talking about here as we approach turn number 7. Just trying to make sure that we get the appropriate camera shot. We're watching Adam Blocker and the general Kevin Burrell, P2 and P3 here, and Clindy has found some differences in the lines between these two excellent drivers. Kevin Burrell, of course, in the Pro Series. Adam Blocker, I think, real world intervened. Look at how much later Kevin breaks there.
Oh, and of course they run the same line that time just to make me look dumb. But there's more than one way to skin a cat. So we'll see what they choose to do as this race wages on.
Rages on.
I think we'll have another fight right now. I think Carasala is also reeled in Van de Sant about 0.2 of a second that last lap.
He has. This group has kind of broken up a little bit. It was there were 3 in attendance. It's down to 2. Hayato Matsuda has come to pit lane and taken on the red alternate sidewall tires. David Hinger has been in. He swapped out his reds for blacks, and so Hinger has gone on to the primary tires. And Hinger has also used up a ton of push to pass. He's down to 103 seconds, less than, or just about half of what he started with. Everybody else, if you look at the top runners, everybody else kind of has quite a bit left. The general Kevin Burrell and Phil Kraus have been using theirs pretty liberally, but I want to swap back to that because Phil Kraus had nearly caught Kevin Burrell, and then Kevin Burrell and Jaden Munoz decided enough of that. We're going to come down pit lane, as does Hamilton Akabuezi. Will Line is in the pits, so is Sam Carasella. So wholesale pit stops here for many of the leaders. You see Line sliding into his pit stall. There goes Kevin Burrell away from his. The general is going to fall in the line right behind Matt Taylor in the Madworks entry. Taylor is currently running 8th on the road. He should be, in terms of track position, 14th, 15th, something like that, Clindy?
After the pit cycle goes all the way through effect?
I would say so. The cars that have not stopped, Adam Blocker, Phil Kraus, Nathan Moore, Hamilton Akabuezi, Alex Van de Zandt have not stopped. Alan Bruteau has not. The first car that has is Jaden Munoz. Matt Taylor has not. Then Burrell and Roseboro have. Ohei, that's Olivia Hayward and Logan Edwards, have not made it to the pits, and then everybody below them has. And you can tell who has stopped and who has not just by the graphic there. Also, the caret next to the number of pit stops made, that's going to denote what compound of tires the drivers are on. It's a one stopper, and you have to run both, and so whatever they're on, if they haven't stopped, they're going to be going the other way next.
I'm interested to see if Munoz will go faster immediately with a full tank on these reds than he ever did on the primaries.
We'll see.
Wholesale, everyone else is pitting. I think Van de Sant. Yep, Van de Sant's in.
Everybody has come to pit road. There's Phil Kraus, Nathan Moore, Adam Blocker is in.
So let's see if Burrell comes out ahead of Blocker.
Well, never a doubt as to whether or not Munoz was going to. Never a doubt as to whether or not Jaden Munoz was going to come out with the lead. Here's the battle, though. That's Kevin Burrell. He is going to flash underneath
Phil Kraus.
Right
now, behind Blocker.
He's right behind him, but he's got the hot red alternate tires. They're sticky now for Burrell. Adam Blocker is on cold ones. It's going to take him a half a lap or so. This is Kevin Burrell's chance to pounce.
Probably 2 or 3 car lengths further back than he wants to be, but if he hits the hairpin perfectly, he can set him up after Fangio for Cunningham.
Most certainly can. They go through the hairpin, up through the little chicane that follows. Not quite. Blocker on the push to pass. Now, the other strategy battle that we were following was Brandon Roseborough. He is on. He is on his primary stint, and the guys that just stopped for those fresh, the guys that just stopped for the fresh alternates, they're gobbling him up. Through goes Nathan Moore, and Hamilton Akabuezi is going to be next, and it's not going to take very long, Clindy.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Is he's just going to get freight trained by everyone on these red tires at the beginning of the run, and he's going to have to fight tooth and nail to pick through them at the end.
You know, he most
Phil
certainly...
Kraus is going to make a move here on Burrell going into Sunset.
Yeah, here we go. That's Kraus in the pink and black, the General Kevin Burrell in the yellow and black. And I think Kevin just said, you go right on ahead, buddy, and concedes the position because...
I don't think that Blocker will give up that easily, even though they're teammates. I know that they like to compete, so we'll see if Burrell was wise in seeing that Phil might hurt his lap times playing with his friend rather than working towards the front.
Tell you who isn't hurting their lap times. Jaden Munoz just checked in with a purple lap, 139.471. So does that answer your question about whether or not Jaden Munoz was going to go faster, Clindy?
Yeah, absolutely. That dude is on another planet because he's a space alien.
Yeah, there's aliens and there's space aliens. We're watching two of them. Jaden Munoz has sauntered away 9.3 seconds over Adam Blocker. The other space alien in this field, Phil Kraus, he is third, running down Adam Blocker for second. Phil that last time threw 4/10 in hand over Hyperslide teammate Adam Blocker.
And remember, Phil Kraus spotted Munoz about 5 seconds just from starting at the back of the field, and then has probably lost those other 5 seconds working his way through it.
That's a really good point, Clindy. We talked about that. Phil Kraus, and it bears mention one more time. He started this race in 19th, and he's worked his way back to a podium third, working on second. We'll see if he can't. We'll see if he can't do anything with Adam Blocker. Everybody is on the button down the Ullman Straight.
Power slide cars are starting to walk away from the fiercely forward entry of Kevin Burrell.
Yeah, and that could be, down to setup. Of course, open setups in the series here in the IndyCar Open Series, and Sebring is one of those tracks where you can set it up for blacks, you can set it up for reds. It just kind of depends on what you want to do and what your strategy is.
Well, Carousel and Van de Sande are wheel to wheel through one.
We'll go flip back to it. They get straightened out. That's Alex Van de Sande. He's in the power slide entry ahead of Sam Carosella. That's 9th and 10th. Zant has it. Carosella wants it. The tire situation here is such that Carosella does have one more lap on his alternate tires than Van de Sande does. So if he's going to make this move, he needs to make it quick, Clindy, because that lap deficit, and it is a deficit on the alternates, it's going to start showing up here in the next couple, I would think.
Well, Carosella just got passed by Van de Sande when they were wheel to wheel in turn one, so he's trying to get it back.
100%. That's what I get for fixating on Phil Kraus. I lost track of this battle.
That's okay. I did too. I should have called it out earlier. My bad.
Darn you, Clindy. No, I'm playing. And if anybody would like to see Clindy and I in action, it is a doubleheader tonight on the P1 Broadcasting Network. Immediately following this at 9:30 Eastern, you're going to see Clindy and I go upside down in the ISRA race at Iowa. And Clindy, that's a nighttime show, and you know how much I love racing on short tracks at night, buddy.
You like to tell everyone that your paint scheme's going to sparkle because you put on your pretty pants.
Usually it's a good opportunity to see what Blackmagic Studios designer Andy Dunwoody has put on the underwing of my car, because that's usually how I wind up. Zant has now pulled away from Carosella 0.7 of a second. We're going to rejoin the battle between Kraus and Blocker because it remains the best one on the racetrack right now. Adam Blocker has second. Philip Kraus wants it. Jaden Munoz has sauntered away from these two, although they were slightly faster than Munoz. That last time by, that 8.5-second gap now, it was almost 9 seconds not so long ago, Clindy. So these two are faster, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late.
Yeah, look at this. Look at the laps remaining. even with the completion of this lap, you'll have 5 more laps you need to complete. That means you need to gain more than a second, like a second and a third or a second and a half every lap to catch Munoz. That's just not going to happen.
We'll go ahead.
Unless Munoz has a huge mistake.
We'll
he's not even going to catch lap traffic, so.
No, he's not. And then we're going to show Jaden Munoz. And that kind of tells the tale. There is nobody else in the camera shot forward or back. Munoz on the push to pass, though. If you got it, Clindy, you might as well use it. But there he goes. And there you
Kraus
just...
is using it right now. Walker goes the inside to defend, coming into Sunset, down the Ullman Straight.
Here we go.
Kraus looking to the outside.
Now, the inside is the shorter way around Big Bend, but it is, or through Sunset, but it isn't necessarily preferred. You want to swing it wide like Kraus. Here they go. Both cars sliding over the bumps. Phil Kraus way out next to the wall. At the line, it's going to be Blocker, but Kraus has a little bit better of a launch, and he's going to have the preferred line going through turn 1.
Be bumpy, boys. Mind your manners. You are teammates, after all.
Rule 1, Clindy?
Don't wreck your teammate.
What's rule 2?
See rule 1.
How many times has Gary Godso told us that?
Every time I wreck my teammates.
Which is, you know...
Honestly, I've only wrecked my teammates like a couple of times, and it wasn't due to direct contact, luckily for me. I've been on the receiving end a couple times of Ryan Campbell's netcode, but he always feels real bad about it, so I forgive him.
Yeah, netcode is netcode. That's, you know, that's part of sim racing just as much as anything else. Next best battle on the track is going to be Hamilton Akabuezi running down Nathan Moore. Akabuezi in the Fiercely Ford pink and black, Nathan Moore in the Williams Esports machine. They are within a half a second of each other, more or less. The only other kind of battle amongst the top 10 is going to be Carosella and Alex Van de Zandt. If you really wanted to see, and we'll kind of take attendance here now that things have died down a little bit. There's Alan Brutteau. He is in the all-black number 12. So thank you so much to Alan Brutteau for coming out this evening. He's following Haito Matsuda in the 11, who is running 11th. You got Leon Flugiker. And there's Leon. He is 13th in the number 13. Nick Sudik. And how about Nick in the pink and teal? He has not hit anything tonight or been hit. And I think Nick could take it.
I think he has had a couple of bumps, a couple of boo-boos, but nothing race-ending and nothing worth a 4X.
I think that Nick would...
I heard some chatter on the comms earlier, and I went back to watch it, but it wasn't anything egregious, so...
I think that Nick would take it. After the last month or so, he's had Connor Parise in the 18. He is 15th, and he is closely attended by the multicolored MadWorks car of Matt Taylor. There you see Matt. He is...
Well, let's keep the camera on this battle. It's shaping up. Taylor's been faster the past couple of laps. Let's see what he can do with Parise.
Yeah, let's see. They are both on the red sidewall tires.
Taylor
in the fence. So that I think is going to put paid to this battle. So let's go. Taylor grazed the fence, and that's going to be worth at least a little bit of suspension damage. We'll kind of check it out for you here if we can get a camera shot on the left side. You see the scuffs there on the front wing, and so that's gonna hurt the downforce on the 15 of Matt Taylor. We'll get back and talk about David Hinger because he has Logan Edwards, and if you'll recall, Clindy, Edwards had a lurid spin through turn number 1 to start this baby. But there's David Hinger, and he's got Logan Edwards right behind. And then rounding out the field, Olivia Hayward. She started in I can't talk. She started 18th. She's been as high as 15th and currently runs shotgun. We do not have anybody out of this one, so everybody looks to be in good shape to finish. Let's go back to this Akabuezi Nathan Moore fight. Matt Taylor seems to have kind of cooled off from Connor Parise. Again, I believe Matt Taylor is going to have a little bit of damage. Just as a reminder, if you do like tonight's coverage, please support us. Give the video a like, ring the bell to subscribe to the channel. You can also send us super chats, and there is a GoFundMe link if you want to throw Clindy and I a couple of bucks. We definitely do appreciate that. We are working 4 to go here at Sebring, coming to get 3 to go. We'll take a break from the Akabuezi Moore battle to show this man Jaden Munoz. Almost said Nathan Moore. Clindy, my goodness.
They look the same. You know, they've got very similar paint schemes or wraps on their Dallaras today, so you know, I don't blame you.
There he is, the Williams Esports machine, working very, very, very quickly and very solidly through Le Mans, down the Ullman Straight. Get a good look at Jaden Munoz. He has been the class of the field tonight. 10.3 seconds, 10.4, 10.5 over Phil Kraus. He has been the class of the field. He has not been headed, and barring any sort of mistake for Munoz, he looks like he's in good shape to capture the flag tonight, Clindy.
Well, Akabuezi just had a mistake coming out of Le Mans, chasing down Nathan Moore. He overcooked the tires on the exit of Le Mans, spun into the tire barriers on the inside of the Ullman Straight, and now has front wing damage. There are only a few laps to go, so he should be safe from Roseboro, but if Roseboro has a spotter, he should be telling him there's blood in the water.
Yeah, watching the replay here, there's Hamilton Akabuezi. That started back before the entry to that corner. That car was out of shape. Hamilton saved it until he couldn't. But there you see the impact with the tire wall. So Hamilton Akabuezi, he's just gonna need to kind of nurse that car home. And you can see the scuff marks all over the front of that machine. I'd be willing to bet, Clindy, there's some side pod damage and maybe some damage to the floor as well.
Yeah, they're very, very fragile, these cars. iRacing likes to pretend that they're invincible until they're not. And even when the car has no visible damage, you can pull into the pits and your crew chief will tell you that there's too much damage and you're done. It's happened to me before. I know it happens to people all the time after they try to do a quick repair and the car's still broken. Oh, Akabueze's hurt badly. Roseboro's really cut into the lead here that he has.
Yeah, Brandon Roseboro, he's got it down to 2.5 seconds. Akabuezi has lost 4 seconds from Nathan Moore just in the last lap. You definitely know that Brandon Roseboro smells that blood in the water. Hamilton Akabuezi, no slouch. We saw him last night have his wheel in the Indy Elite race. His wheel malfunctioned, and he was forced to retire after running on the podium at Road America. I wonder if maybe that same kind of an issue played up for Hamilton tonight. It looked almost very similar, like the car just started weaving back and forth, and he spun it. But you can see that Hamilton Akabuezi definitely off the pace, just going to try to save it. Whoa, Hamilton gets awfully close to the tires too there, Clindy.
And he survived 2 more laps to hang on to his position, where he is right now in 6th.
Well, Brandon Roseboro is within 1.2 seconds, and Roseboro was also 2.5 seconds quicker that last time through. So he's going to get to him. The question is, how much defending is Hamilton Akabuezi capable of doing? Is he really in a position to defend, or is this all she's got?
I think in the slow speed corners, he's going to be fine. It's going to be the high speed corners like Le Mans and Sunset where he's really hurting. So we'll see if Brandon can get close enough to capitalize in those higher speed corners.
Yeah, even if you just bend it a little bit, and lose 10 or 20 pounds of downforce, that's all the difference in the world between making it through at speed and having to check up a little bit, slow your car down, and that's going to let the guy in the back close up right to the gearbox. Akabuezi, though, seems to have picked up the pace a little bit, but Roseboro is there. Now, I don't think that Hamilton is in danger from Will Lyon. Lyon lies 8th in the IR entry, and you see it just every so often flick into the back of the picture. Akabuezi cleanly through Le Mans that time. We've got the white flag for Jaden Munoz. We're going to keep it here to see what becomes of the battle of 6. This is for 6. This is by far and away the best on the racetrack, and through goes Roseboro. He's going to take home 6th. Hamilton Akabuezi is going to fall to 7th. I don't think Will Lyon is going to have enough time to get there. And now we have a victory tour for Jaden Munoz, Clindy.
Yep. I'll keep an eye on Nathan Moore and Kevin Burrell. They're within striking distance. However, Moore is just a little too far back to make a move right now. Yeah,
that's about a half a second difference. So we'll keep an eye on that one too. But right now, Jaden Munoz, as he has done the entire evening, very smoothly navigating this bumpy old racetrack at Sebring. Coming through Collier, through turn number 12 and down toward Tower. He makes the right, and he'll head toward Bishop and then Lamar. After that, just a straight in the corner at Sunset, and he'll be home.
Home free with all the downforce in the world and all the speed that his competitors wish they had. Jaden Munoz has put on a clinic today at Sebring.
He most certainly has. He's going to swing it wide through Lamar, down the Ullman Straight, and he's not leaving anything to chance. Even with the 11-second lead now, hard on the push to pass. He's going to come through Sunset Bend. Jaden Munoz is going to capture the flag here tonight at Sebring. You see Barney with the checkers in his hand? There we go. And we are immediately going to go back to Nathan Moore and Kevin Burrell because Moore is going to have a stab at it through Sunset.
He backs up the entry to get a good exit. Let's see if Burrell can make it stick.
Here they come off the corner to the flag. Not enough for Nathan Moore. Kevin Burrell going to bring it home fourth. Nathan Moore is fifth. Sam Carosella is also likewise all over the gearbox of Alex Van de Zandt. This would be for 9th and 10th. Same kind of
one more lap for both those drivers is all they needed.
Yep, one more. Akabuezi did bring it home 7th. Will Lyon couldn't quite get to him. We've still got battling. Here comes Hayato Matsuda. He's going to bring it home over Alan Bruteau. And the last battle
Parise has to hold off Hanger. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got Parise, Hinger, and Logan Edwards. Now Hinger is on he is on the black primary tires. He should theoretically have a little bit more grip here, Clindy, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Parise is going to hold off Hinger and Edwards. 16th, 17th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. Ohei is going to bring it home in 18th. Matt Taylor did not finish. Something befell Matt Taylor on the penultimate lap, and so Taylor is going to be credited with with last here, Clindy.
Yep, 19th. It looks like Taylor just pulled over. I don't know if he underfueled. He didn't have any obvious damage. He just pulled over on the Ullman Straight and then pulled it in the pits. Maybe something in real life came up. We're all hobbyists. Maybe he had a pizza delivered. You never know. I hope Matt's okay and everything's going fine for him.
100% there, Clindy. So tonight's winner, Jaden Munoz, 11.2 seconds over Phil Kraus, who definitely Phil Kraus 100% wins the Hard Charger Award for tonight. Phil was going to bring home second. He passed 18 cars. Couldn't pass the last one, though. He'll bring it home in the middle step of the podium. Adam Blocker, he'll be on the bottom step. He'll finish third. Kevin Burrell, the general, is fourth. Nathan Moore, fifth. Brandon Roseborough is sixth. Hamilton Akabuezi, seventh. Will Lyon, eighth. Alex Van de Zandt, ninth. And Sam Carosella rounds out your top 10. In 11th, Hayato Matsuda. 12th, Alan Berteau. 13th, Leon Flugiker. Nick Sudik is 14th. Connor Parise, 15th. David Hinger, 16th. Logan Edwards, 17th. Olivia Hayward in 18th. And the aforementioned Matt Taylor will run it home in 19th position, one lap in arrears.
Speaking of the Hard Charger Award, Murph, I know we're going to be paying that out later in June to the driver who makes up the most positions in the P1 600. Isn't that right?
It 100% is, Clindy. You're spot on, brother. So June the 7th, if you don't know, we're going to have the P1 600 kilometers at the Michigan Speedway for a little bit of money. And so we're looking forward to an awesome 43 car field at that. The entries are pouring in, Clindy. I'm excited. I'm going to stay in the booth. I'm going to let you run that. I'm going to observe from the safety of the tower, brother.
Well, considering the move that Matt Wagner put on me to try to win the the ISRA race last week, I don't know how comfortable I am defending at Michigan, but I've learned a couple of lessons, and hopefully I can apply them for the real money that'll be on the line.
Very good. We do have Let's see. Adam
Blocker's
Blocker
in the waiting room.
Blocker is in the waiting room. Let's go ahead and bring him on up. Adam Blocker, you got Mark and Kyle Clindy, or you got Mark and Clindy in the P1 broadcasting booth. Brother, you ran second most of the day, and Phil kind of got past you there at the end. Tell us about the run tonight at Sebring.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a challenge with how hot the weather was, and yeah, kind of. I didn't expect to be competitive in qualifying based on the practice before, but kind of disappointed in my qualifying lap in the end because I think, my lap wasn't great and I was only half a tenth off. So, yeah, but I think it was pretty clear that Jaden and Phil had the best race pace, and, Phil just he screwed up qualifying, so he had to come through the field. So, for him to finish second after doing that is pretty impressive. And, yeah, I just really didn't have much on the race as a whole for them. Although Phil did kind of kill his tires at the end, so maybe if I would have been able to hold on for like a couple more laps, I would have been able to keep him behind, but hard to know.
For sure. Clindy?
Adam, I've got a million different questions for you. Do you want one about how the real-life testing affects what you do in iRacing, or one about how you can stay calm in qualifying? It's your choice.
I can answer. I mean, so I would say that real life testing probably doesn't help much in iRacing because the setups are very different. Like nothing directly translates because let's just say the model's not, amazing. But I would say general understanding of engineering principles and also kind of approach is always helpful, particularly places like Indy where it's, really kind of a science project to get speed out of it. I'm probably not the right person to ask about being calm under qualifying because I tend to screw that up a lot. But I will say one thing that helped me a lot when I started doing it was I started using the all-time reference lap. I'm a big Delta guy, so when I put the all-time best lap, and if it's a representative lap, that helped me a lot just to focus on that. But
Thank you for that tidbit. You have earned the right to shout out any sponsors, friends, or family since you've got the bronze medal today. So the floor is all yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to thank y'all for continuing to support the series for for this season and in the future hopefully. And I just want to thank Kevin and Jaden and Phil for the good racing, and also Phil and the rest of the Power Slide guys for the work on the setup. And yeah, I know they're looking forward to IS later this week, and
100%. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys in that big race on Saturday. It'll be from Sebring. We'll have it right here on P1. And Adam, good luck to you. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy.
Yep. Thanks. See you soon.
Yes, sir. That is Adam Blocker. He is going to finish third today. Once again, Clindy failed to pay the bill for Phil Kraus to appear, and so we'll go ahead and give Phil his due. He does finish second here tonight at Sebring, and the winner, of course, is Jaden Munoz. Jaden does not appear to be in the waiting room either. We'll give both of those guys a couple of minutes, Clindy. And while we do that, we do have a action-packed week here on the P1 Broadcasting Network. Immediately following this, 9:30 Eastern, Gary Gatso, LGN, they're going to be with it at 9:30 for the ISRA race at Iowa. Clindy and I will be in that one, and you too may get to see what's painted on the underwing of my IR18. We're going to run the plucked chicken tonight, Clindy.
I don't know. What is the plucked chicken? Can you give me the lore?
In the hour between this race and that one, you need to go watch the movie Stroker Ace. On Tuesday, we're going to have the flagship broadcast. That is the INDYCAR Oval Series. Tuesday night top split, that's going to be from Homestead. Wednesday, we've got the Horizon INDYCAR Series race from Pocono, and I do believe they are combining with our friends. They are combining with some of the votive guys for that one, so that should be fun. That'll be at 8. Also on Wednesday, the Formula Indy Series. They're going to run their only oval race of the year, of their calendar. That's going to be at Milwaukee. Always a ton of fun to see those guys compete on an oval. On Thursday, we've got the Black Magic Studios Grand National Series for the American Motorsports Association. Huge viewership for that series. Come join in on the fun. They're going to be at COTA, Clindy. COTA.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see any truck axles get pulled directly from the chassis like we did in real life a couple of years ago. But I'm sure they'll put on just as good a show.
I'm sure they will. They're going to be running the short course at COTA just as the real life NASCAR boys are going to be doing. There is no truck race on Friday, which leads us right back here to Sebring for the INDYCAR iRacing Series presented by 40 Racewear. Mark your calendars, fans.
We do have Jaden in the booth.
We do have Jaden. All right.
Let's grab him.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. But that race is at 1. We'll go ahead and grab Jaden. The lineup then comes full circle. Clindy and I will be right back here at 7 o'clock for the INDYCAR Series. And next week, that is at, and I lost my place, Clindy.
Sorry, Murph.
I lost my place. I'm getting old. I need to get my glasses back out. That's going to lead us right back here.
Atlanta? Sorry, that's fixed.
That's fixed. It'll be at Texas. And that's an awful lot of fun. Can I get you to produce that show? And I'll race it. How about that? But we do have
we'll see.
We do have Jaden Munoz in the booth. Jaden, you got Mark Murphy and Kyle Clinworth in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yes, sir. Hello, guys.
I'll tell you what, that was dominant. You started on the pole with the fastest lap that Clindy and I had ever seen. You were matched on that fastest lap by Kevin Burrell, although you did it first, so you get credited with the pole. And then from there, you made everybody else look like they were running in slow motion, brother. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race for me, obviously. Quali was way, it was way closer than I anticipated. I didn't expect to literally tie with someone up for pole. So yeah, I wasn't sure what the pace would be like coming in, but yeah, I knew our race pace was going to be really, really strong. But yeah, I think maybe we should start working on the Q set a little bit more, and then we'll be good from there for IIS.
Gotcha. Clindy, what say you to the winner tonight, Jaden Munoz?
Yeah, that's a perfect segue into my question, actually. Is it, baseball's doing spring training right now in Arizona, and you hit a grand slam today. Is this open setup race something like spring training for you all for IIS? I know that the weather's been populating a little bit differently, but besides Q, did you have any other takeaways today that you might use for those IIS races later this week?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some things we can work on. I mean, that's the good thing about these open races. We can just see how our setup does in this weather and against our competitors. So it's good to see, just to compare to everyone. And these races are fun by itself. So that's the thing. So I'll be looking forward to IIS.
100%, Jaden. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Sorry you got to hear the pre to the end of the race show, but thank you so much for coming in. You administered a rear end dismantling today, and so as such, the floor is yours, sir. Anything that you'd like to say, friends, family, shout out sponsors, teammates, the floor, as always, is yours.
Yeah, thanks. I would like to thank my team, Williams Esports, and my teammates, of course. I've had some teammates this week help me out on the setup, and it turned out pretty good. So, yeah, thanks to them and everyone else that's supported me.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much, Jaden, for stopping by. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy.
Yep. See y'all later this week. Bye.
Yes, sir. That's Jaden Munoz. He is the winner this evening. And so, Clindy, now that we've done our duty and read out the schedule for the remainder of the week, what are your thoughts coming up for that big IIS showdown on Saturday?
You're going to see Jaden Munoz do exactly what he did today again. I don't think that the power slide guys or the I5G guys are going to be able to stand in his way. He's going to be hell-bent on grand slamming again. It's a matter of pride at this point, right? You do it once, you show it, you show your hand a little early, and then you just double down, you do it again. You guys aren't good enough. You guys aren't fast enough to learn from the lesson I taught you tonight, because I was 10 seconds ahead of you. How could you have watched me and learned what I did? Well, they could save the replay, but that's exactly what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to go home and do their homework to try to beat this man later this week, because he is the fastest dude in Florida.
He most certainly is the fastest dude in Florida. That's Jaden Munoz. We would love to thank everybody who tuned it in tonight. We did have a massive audience as we have been gaining as we have been getting for these races all throughout. And so do want to thank everybody for tuning it in. If you have not already done so, make sure you ring the bell to subscribe to the channel. On our drive for 1,000, we're getting close. It's so close we can taste it. So that's the one thing that you can do. It is absolutely 100% free to do it. And we would love to have you on as a subscriber to the P1 Broadcasting Network. For Kyle Clinworth, Mark Murphy, our founder Gary Godsill, would like to thank all the first responders, the police, the fire, the military, the EMTs that do all the hard jobs at night so that we can lay our heads on the pillow safe. We thank you. And God bless you all. Clindy and I will see you in an hour.